that brings up the question as to whether or not the approach we're using, as described by Professor Frimpong Boateng in the fight against illegal mining, is right or wrong. Let's explore that with coordinator for the eco-conscious citizens, Awula Serwah, who's joining us in studio. Also via Zoom, we have Nana Boachi Chumesi Ankra, who's the project manager for Tropping Boss Ghana, also a forest conservation group. Thank you, gentlemen and lady in studio, for joining us. And Awula, you have some background in matters relating to law, so you've been monitoring the conversation with this latest one coming through from Charles Bisiu. Yesterday, we heard of that arrest warrant against Professor Frimpong Boateng and subsequently the bill that was granted him. In all of this, do you feel we're getting it right in terms of the approach towards prosecution, first of all?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I have to say that I'm a little confused. When I look at the timing of the arrest of Professor Frimpong Boateng, the impression being given is that it's got to do with the reports. You know, we have been one of the organizations asking that his report should be examined, but we want a public inquiry. We don't want anything secretive. We don't want anything where the public will not be involved and be in a position to offer information that they might have. So having the professor arrested gives the impression that he's being targeted for having written the report. We know it sat on somebody's desk for 2 years. Thank God the press found out about it, and now we know the contents of the report. But it's a bit worrying, if you ask me.
But then, now we're getting to see the whole effect of what's likely to happen. The fact that the Office of the Special Prosecutor will now go after the individuals who've been mentioned. And Charles Bisiu was obviously the next stop. He's fighting that using the court. And the question is, if we go after every politician at this moment, they may fight that legally. It may challenge our entire fight against illegal mining, don't you think so?
Is there any fight going on against illegal mining? If there is, I'm not sure I'm aware of it. But I think that with the evidence that we have, it shouldn't be difficult to bring persons who have, look at the images you're showing, they are devastating. I think that if we are interested in bringing persons who have damaged our environment to book, it shouldn't be too difficult. I don't really foresee any difficulties. Yes, 1 or 2 individuals may go to court, try to delay matters, but eventually they will be prosecuted and the truth should come out.
24 hours barely to that Green Ghana Day celebration that we are on the lookout for. And of course, I want to bring in Nana Boachi before I come back to you in studio. But let's, I mean, since you're here, let's just start off with you. The Green Ghana Day obviously is targeted at protecting our forest and planting new trees. In addition, government says what we did last year has yielded results. All the seedlings, whatever it is that we've planted, over 70% of them are surviving, so we're on course. Now we're getting to see this afternoon the effects of what's happening within the enclaves of Tiwa and the rest. Are we getting the approach right?
I don't think so. It's a laudable idea to have Green Ghana and to be planting trees. But does it make any, is it logical to be, whilst we are greening Ghana, to be, for example, declassifying portions of Achimota forest? It doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to add to our forest cover, we'll not be removing what we have. Then what are we gaining? Also, we've heard about the passage of the mining in forest reserves LI, right, which would even allow for mining in a globally significant biodiversity area, such as Atiwa Forest Reserve, if the president thinks it's in the public interest. The question is when can it ever be in the public interest, right, to mine in the globally significant biodiversity area? It's just trying to ensure that mining can be done at Atiwa Forest Reserve, which we know is would destroy the ecosystem, and in addition, right, will poison the source of water to over 5 million people. This is unacceptable. It doesn't show any commitment to greening Ghana.
And a very dangerous trend if we do not check it, because access to potable water may be a challenge for us. Nana Boachi Chumesi, your organization as well, Tropping Boss, has been working in this field, assessing, first of all, forest cover and assessing if we're getting things right. What data do you have to back your claims as to whether or not we're moving forward or retrogressing as a nation.
Okay, thank you very much. In order not to give a specific, please, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay, so in order not to give in terms of figures that might not be accurate at this point, but what I would want to say is that in terms of efforts that we are putting in, as the lady said, clearly efforts are being put in, but there are leakages also per our inactions and actions. And so, if I should say, in the forest areas, we realize that yes, some forest agencies or institutions are making inputs in terms of tree planting, in addition to even what we are doing in these ceremonial days as Green Ghana Day. But our actions, on the other hand, really sometimes show a clear outweighing of the effort we are putting in to have our forest intact or even improving them. And so in that sense, I realize that it's just like using the string or even a sieve or basket to go for water. Because once we are doing it on the other side, then we are standing aloof and seeing the one that even nature gave to us being destroyed either by illegal people or even sometimes by the actions and inactions of state institutions themselves.
But then the question on Etiwa Forest, for instance, we see the activities going on, and yet water constantly flows through our taps. So the belief of some is that we're okay, there's no big challenge, except to say that this is a very vast area. We could mine some, keep the rest, and protect what we have now. Is that a feasible argument? It appears we have...
from all my readings, I have not encountered any reading or physical experiences where you have bauxite mining, especially in a particular forest area, and looking at Atiwa also being
we seem to be having some challenge with Nana Abacha. We'll definitely reconnect with him. But Awula, you're here with us. The question I was asking on Etiwa, the fact that, well, let's mine some, let's keep some. After all, it's our land. We mine, we gain royalties, we get developmental projects, and then we protect the rest.
No, I don't buy that. I think, as the previous speaker was saying, we cannot mine bauxite. The nature of bauxite mining, we cannot mine bauxite without destroying, as I've said, the ecosystem and also the source of the source of water to over 5 million people. It's not impossible. And let's sort of move away from the idea that mining is the only avenue for us. This is laughable. If you look at Atiwa Forest Reserve, just declared as a national park, you can even get money from carbon sinks. There's tourism. There are endangered species that are there. There's bird watching. And then we've been talking on and on and on about the green economy. Let's explore it. Because you see, is
it that lucrative?
Of course it is. I mean, you see, what I have to tell people that let's look at the true cost of mining. For example, the Minister for whatever is supposed to have said that we got 1.2 billion from small-scale mining. But you see, you can bandy that figure. When you look at the small-scale mining, look at the other side. You're destroying the landscape. Now, we've been told that in the mining areas, people are getting, newborn babies are being born with deformities. Right. Cancers are beginning. People are getting kidney disease and so on and so forth. What is 1.2 billion vis-a-vis the cancers, the kidney disease, the birth defects? What about the pressure on your healthcare system? Now, you know, when you destroy the land and you want to reclaim it, I mean, trees that have taken decades, centuries to grow, there are no weeds that within 2-3 minutes you can reclaim. So there's a false analysis going on. So we're not making that much money out of small-scale mining if we look at the cost. So what we need to do is to look at the real cost of mining. Then you look at, for example, in other areas, cocoa farmers. We claim we love farmers. We have Farmers' Day. But they are losing their livelihood. Are they not important? We have the farmers from Atronso and other areas who are saying we do not want community mining because it will take away our livelihood. It will also poison the Atronso stream. Look at all the waters around being poisoned. Ours is still clear. Why do you want to add it to the list of poisoned waters?
But then tomorrow will be an opportunity to make a statement again, and government is seeking to use that day to, first of all, plant more trees and then protect what we already have. Should we now be moving towards a targeted approach when it comes to the Green Ghana Day, not just going anywhere else to plant, but targeting some of these forest reserves that have been depleted? Do you feel that's what we should rather be doing?
That would be a very good thing to do. But you see, with Greening Ghana, we need to be consistent. It's consistency that is lacking. Yes, we can look at all these areas, go and green them. That is fantastic. But if at the same time we don't rescind the EI, which is declassifying parts of Achimota Forest, if at the same time we still have a LI, which can make it possible to mine in forest reserves, even in globally significant biodiversity areas, then what are we talking about? It's like a gimmick. We have one day there's a fanfare with Green Ghana, yet we are supervising the destruction of our environment. So what we are saying is that be consistent. If you're not going to be consistent, there's really no point.
You've sent a number of petitions jointly as CSOs to the president and other officers on the concerns you have about this approach we're using towards the fight against illegal mining. It's not been yielding results over the years. What approach are you likely to take now as eco-conscious citizens?
Well, as eco-conscious citizens, we'll continue, giving the message. And we thank the press, yourselves, and others who have appreciated that we are facing a clear and present danger, and that if we continue at this rate, we'll become extinct. There are food sovereignty concerns. There are water concerns. Water company has told us that at this rate, first of all, it's costing more and more to purify water, and at this rate, they might even have to import water. So all these things are going on, and action needs to be taken. Eventually, when Ghanaians get angry enough, they may decide to hit the streets. They may decide that we're all sitting at home until the government takes leadership and actually has a fight on illegal mining. Right now, I'm not quite sure there's any serious fight going on, because so long as the directors of Akonta Mining have not been arrested for allegedly destroying portions of the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve, and rather Professor Frimpong Boateng has been arrested, the whole thing seems to me and to other eco-conscious citizens like a big joke. And let's be clear, the latest petition we had was signed by over 200 individuals and organizations. That should tell us that the concern is growing. The concern is growing, and government should take note.
It's growing, and many still look at the level of devastation to say, I mean, we can't fight this illegal mining.
We can fight it if we are serious. We are not serious. So long as we have, there was the documentary, I always get the title wrong, so forgive me. I think it was Gold for Minerals.
The Distraction for Gold, you mean?
I'm sorry, right. Distraction for Gold. Please forgive me. We had that brilliant documentary. Journalists are putting their lives on and their safety on the line. What has happened since that documentary? Has anybody been arrested? So what I'm saying is that, is there really a fight against illegal mining? When the government decides to actually have a serious fight against illegal mining, believe me, we'll begin to see a change.
Nana Boakye, let me bring you in. The way forward, tomorrow is Green Ghana Day. What would you want to see? And are there some factors that government should, address their minds to in terms of tackling this whole issue when it comes to the fight against illegal mining?
So I agree perfectly with what Madam Serwah said, in the sense that I personally and my organization and civil society do not have anything against Green Ghana. But where Green Ghana is supposed to promote tree cover, promote the ecosystem, and then on our hand, the ecosystem in naturally given forests are being destroyed through concern, and then year in year I've spent extra monies to do this Green Ghana, then it becomes a bit of serious and worrying, because for us, this should only augment what God has already given to us and not destroy what God has given to us, only to plant this. And let me mention that even these plantings that we are seeing, even the approach in some cases have not been that very good in the sense that there are places that will have full protection when they are planted there.
Okay, we seem to be having a challenge. Not a fair or a good day for Nana Boakye, but of course, definitely we'll reconnect sometime again to have this discussion. Awula, we need to go. If there's a message for the people of Ghana on the need to appreciate the extent of the damage that's going on and why we need action now, what would that message be?
I'd say that God gave us a beautiful environment, as Nana Boakye said. He gave us a beautiful environment, and He commanded us to take care of it. So if we care about what God has said, He didn't command us to build a cathedral. He commanded us to take care and keep the environment. So we need to do it. And we need not wait till we turn our taps and have brown water till we do something. Let's be angry enough to say enough is enough. Start a serious fight against illegal mining. Let us protect the beautiful environment God has given us. Thank you very much.
And we're grateful to Awula Serwah and Nana Boakye for joining us with this conversation. And that's why here at JoyNews we're saying #no to Galamsey.